What do you know about smaller forwards and the Montreal Canadiens? Today, we are heading over to an all-Canadian commentary topic as we dive into one of the top centers on the Calgary Flames, Nazem Kadri. He's 34 years old, 6 feet, 192 pounds, a left-handed guy drafted by Toronto back in 2009. He's making $7 million a year till the end of 2028, 2029. And while it's true, I think we can say that Nazem Kadri is in the, do I want to say he's in the end game of his career? It's true, he's in the second half of his NHL career, let's just say that. He still is a very capable, very good hockey player, despite that. 75 points in 82 games played in 23-24, 67 points in 82 games played the most recent season, including 35 goals, which, if I'm not mistaken, was a career high. Yeah, it was. Nazem Kadri had his most productive goal season this previous year with the Calgary Flames. With the A on his sweater, he is signed on for the next few years, and he did lead the Calgary Flames in both points and goals this year. He was a stud. And say what you want about the Calgary Flames getting better or getting different players or adding on whatever it is that they can get. You can debate the direction of the Flames. You can debate the status of the Flames. You can say that, hey, Rasmus Andersson is a player who could be on the move. You could also talk about that same Nazem Kadri and ask whether or not he would waive to go elsewhere to maybe help this Flames team get a little bit younger. Which is why we head over onto Habs Fan TV. I think that's what they're called. HFTV. I mean, I don't know what the HF stands for, but we'll just assume Habs Fan TV. Because they went out there and posted this earlier this morning that I thought was absolutely outstanding. Breaking news! With the lack of centers on the NHL trade market, a possible destination for Nazem Kadri could be Montreal if the Flames decide to trade him. Would you want Kadri as a 2C? Now this, by itself, doesn't really give us much. It just says, hey, would you like Kadri in Montreal? But if you scroll down and you read the quote, you'll see what Nick Kypreos said earlier this week. Nazem Kadri would lift his no-move clause for the Habs and the Leafs. It's not just Jordan Kyrou, folks. It's not just that 70-point scorer in St. Louis who would waive for Montreal. Apparently, according to Kypreos, it is also him. Nazem Kadri, everybody, would be such an interesting Montreal Canadien, and I'm talking just straight up outside the point production. He was already the most productive player on the Flames this most recent year. If he was on Montreal, getting sheltered minutes in a second-line scoring role with Laine, or not even Laine, you can have Bolduc in there. Move Laine to the third line because he needs even more sheltered, even-strength minutes. If you have a second line of Bolduc, Kadri, and Demidov, I mean, it doesn't take a genius to think about what options are available with that line. Thinking about what these guys could create together, Bolduc and Kadri's aggressive, agitative style of play with the same goal-scoring playmaking combo that you get with Ivan Demidov, there could legitimately be 2 top-scoring lines for the Habs if you have the offensive talent of Caulfield, Suzuki, Slafkovsky, Bolduc, Kadri, and Demidov all together. Now, of course, the big question that everybody's going to bring up is, okay, what's it going to cost? What kind of assets are the Calgary Flames looking for? And I just gotta say here, man, with the Flames potentially entering this discussion of younger talent and prospects and picks, if that is the ask, Montreal's got a lot of those, baby. Now, I also do understand that there is concern on dollars, because Kadri's making $7 million. That's not cheap. Definitely not. But he plays as well as he is paid. he is making this amount of money because if he gets 60, 70 points every single year, if he is leading the team in points every single year, you're kind of getting a bargain at $7 million, I'm not gonna lie. Now, he is old, of course, 34, so you have to question whether or not he will age into the rest of these contract years gracefully, or if at some point there is the potential for Kadri to become a bum and some sort of a cap anchor. But you also have to recognize that when it comes to players that are this good, Kadri just happens to be one of the players who, so far, has defied those expectations. He has been the exception to the rule. And I'm also thinking, in this modern NHL landscape where second-line centers are very valuable, and I say second-line center not because Kadri isn't a first-line center guy, he is in Calgary, of course, but we recognize that there are about 15 teams in the NHL right now looking for a second-line center. Vancouver could use one, Detroit could use one, Montreal could use one, Toronto could use one. So the fact that Nazem Kadri would only waive to be a second-line center, playing behind either Auston Matthews in Toronto or Nick Suzuki on the Flames, that does speak volumes as to where the market is heading. It does seem a lot more now like it's going to be the choice of the players, really, to decide where it is that they get traded to and decide what teams get their help or not. If you head over to the Toronto Maple Leafs, you try to see what fits could be there. Yeah, John Tavares as a third-line center, if you move him down, you give him even more sheltered minutes, that would be kind of ridiculous. Now, I don't know if you want to split up Tavares and Nylander, but having Kadri up with this Toronto Maple Leafs squad one more time, that would be so interesting. You think about it, all right, well, the first year of John Tavares in Toronto, which was this year right here, I believe it was this year, yeah, it was, he got 47 goals in that year. Nazem Kadri was a top 6-point producer. If we head over to the archive.org Wayback Machine, I wanted to take a look at the Toronto Maple Leafs and their lines in the playoffs. Let's head over to archive.org. We will search the Internet Archive. We will paste the Toronto Maple Leafs line combinations and then go back over to 2019. Let's go over into April here. Let's just take a blast to the past and see what it was the Toronto Maple Leafs forward core looked like with Nazem Kadri, John Tavares, and Auston Matthews. Okay, this lineup does not seem to have Kadri. I think he was suspended at this point. Yeah, let's go a little bit earlier. Let's just do December 2018. There you go. How about that? Let's load up the previous one before this. Okay. Is Auston Matthews here? No, he is not. He was injured at that time. Okay, it's hard to find really how the team looked like when everybody was healthy at the same time. Let's just try one more time. Let's do November 2018 and see if we could get any results there. But ultimately, I'm thinking if you have Matthews, Tavares, and Kadri all in the team at the same time, that is absolutely astounding. I mean, yeah, Auston Matthews was injured for a while in that 18-19 season, I guess. I don't necessarily know if you would go Auston Matthews, Nazem Kadri, John Tavares 1, 2, 3, or if you would play one of these guys on the wing, have Kadri as center and have Matthews as a winger, I guess. Is that even possible? Who really knows? But ultimately, the idea that Kadri would waive for Toronto or Montreal is so interesting that I just had to dive into it in a video over here. I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. How do you feel about a Nazem Kadri trade? Do you like it? Do you not? How do you feel about the return, and where do you think he fits into your lineup? Let me know in the comments all your opinions. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.